This is WBTV News. I'm Kirsten Pratt. Here are the headlines. SGA encourages voter registration, vandalism over the weekend, and recycling on campus. Very soon, South Carolina will have a new governor. Student Government Association President Anthony Beckett is urging students to complete their voter registration cards to be eligible for the upcoming election. Beckett held the SGA's second full-body meeting on Tuesday night. He also spoke to WBTV about the significance of the election for the state of South Carolina.
With elections just about a month away, SGA President Anthony Beckett is urging students who are residents of South Carolina to register to vote. Beckett says this election greatly impacts SC State students because the new governor will make major decisions about the university and its funding.
Well, basically, as we already know, being involved throughout high school so far, as well as coming to college, every student, every person over the age of 18 is eligible to vote and register to vote. And the importance or the significance of voter registration, most particularly for the South Carolina residential students here at SC State, is because we have a very important governor's race coming up in November. And it's very important that every single South Carolina resident that attends South Carolina State University registers to vote because of the fact that the governor oversees all the allocations of funds for the operations of the university, with us being a land-grant institution as well as a state-funded institution. And with that, it's also the state's responsibility to make sure that we as a university are still delivering and becoming competitive within the global marketplace throughout the various other institutions here in South Carolina and nationwide. So it's very important because it's not just the financial aspect, it's also to ensure that we have a sound and competitive curriculum here at South Carolina State University. And even beyond that, it's just to ensure that we're getting what we pay for here.
Students can obtain registration forms from their respective residence halls or directly from the SGA office.
The deadline to register, I know for a fact, is, I believe, September 30th. And basically, any and all forms that are still out there on the campus, we're asking for you to bring them into the SGA office, return them into your residential educator, so we can get those into the commissioner's office here in Orangeburg County so they can process you and make sure that you are registered to vote by the deadline date of September 30th. And basically, some of the sites that you can register, the SGA office is set up to take any students that are residential, in-state students that would like to register that have not registered back home. Also, I know a few residential halls have already jumped on board with this program and with this initiative. I believe Truth Hall, Mays 1, Andrew Hugany Suites, as well as University Village do have voter registration forms available to them. All the other residential halls, if you would like to participate, please come by the office. We have more than enough voter registration forms for pickup, but please make sure that you do that by September 30th.
This is Davidia Thomas for WBTV News.
In other news, the Fine Arts Building and the Henderson Davis Theater were both vandalized over the weekend. The perpetrators removed the fire extinguisher and sprayed portions of the buildings. Reporter Manelli Martinez has this story.
1 week after the break-ins at Hodge Hall, 2 more buildings fell victim to malicious activity over the weekend. Staff at both the Henderson Davis Theater and the Fine Arts Building found fire extinguisher spray on the floors, furniture, and equipment. At the Fine Arts Building, the Barbara A. Vaughn Recital Hall was completely covered with spray, and the restrooms of the HD Theater suffered the same fate. WBTV News spoke with HD manager Wiley Cummings, who shared his reaction to the incident.
Well, for one thing, I noticed that there had been some damage, I could say, done to the balcony restroom. It's minor. Well, I should say that's the minor issue. But the major issue is that apparently someone or someones some bodies, broke into this facility and decided to do some kind of prank of some sort or whatever. And that behavior is certainly not welcomed here or on any facility on this campus. So I did not see any signs of forced entry. I did check all of the doors, and they were locked. But I suspect that it's some kind of prank or some sort, something of that nature. So.
Officials at the Fine Arts Building were reluctant to comment until they received more information about the incident. This is Manelis Martinez for WBTV News.
Okay.
You're watching WBTV News. Stay with us for more after the break. Can diabetes change your DNA? Research done at South Carolina State's Biology Department is finding evidence that this very common and chronic disease can change our hereditary structure. Reporter Dervidia Thomas visited the lab of Dr. Mutabaddin Ahmed, who explains South Carolina State's involvement in this groundbreaking research.
South Carolina ranks at number 10 in the nation for diabetes, and 1 in 8 African Americans in the state has this disease. These statistics from the South Carolina Department of Health and Environmental Control are troubling, since research at SC State shows that this disease can change our DNA structures. Biological sciences professor Mutabaddin Ahmed explained that this research can play a vital role in the development of new medicine and treatment for this disease.
You know, if we can really ultimately succeed in finding out if those modified DNA things are really occurring at an enhanced rate in diabetes, then ultimately we can try really to prevent those reactions. And that will lead to some kind of medications that will try to tackle the problem of diabetes. At least we think that it will mitigate some of the sufferings of the disease. I have been working on this project for the last 3 years. We have sent a paper for publications, and I think around 15 students, at least 15 students have worked with me during this 3-year period. You know, what's happening is, because majority of the people, we have a substantial number of African American people in Orangeburg County or in South Carolina specifically, and African American people suffer more in diabetes than compared to the Caucasians or Asians. So if we can really really find some kind of a cure, I'm sure it will serve the community pretty well, and I'm sure that will also contribute to the good name of this university.
This is Davidia Thomas for WBTV News.
The whole world is going green, including South Carolina State University. Listen to a few ways of how you can lessen your carbon footprint. Reporter Ashley Burks talks with SGA Senator at Large Austin Floyd on The Feed.
Hi, this is Ashley Burks for The Feed. Today on our show, we will be talking to SGA Senator at Large Austin Floyd. Austin, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
You're welcome.
I understand on campus that there's a new recycling program. Could you please tell us a little bit about it?
Sure. We have a new recycling program started by the Staff Senate on August 13th. We collect plastic bottles